Donald Trump really can't stop losing. He is a loser, and we have to keep that in mind. This is a man who is taking the L in about 95% of the cases that go to court, the lawsuits that are filed against him. Donald Trump just continues to lose. This idea of inevitability that surrounds the Trump administration is something that we have to dismantle because we can beat him back, and no one has done a better job at that than Gavin Newsom, who Donald Trump just quite literally had to admit defeat to, and one of the biggest blows to his term yet that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into the term-destroying blow that Newsom just landed on Trump, that he is now admitting defeat on, I want to start with a little fun that Gavin Newsom had mocking Donald Trump and his weakness today on Twitter. Newsom trolls Bone Spurs in Chief Trump for military suck-up. Governor Gavin Newsom mocked Donald Trump's draft-dodging history after the president told the U.S. Navy he'd love to have their jobs. The California governor's press office took to X on Tuesday to jokingly brand the commander-in-chief the Bone Spurs in Chief after Trump gave a rambling military address earlier that day. "You are winners. Oh, I'd love to have your job," the president told troops aboard the USS George Washington aircraft carrier off the coast of Japan. The press office also shared a screenshot of a headline detailing how Trump avoided the Vietnam draft. The headline is from a 2019 Military Times article that reports on Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, claiming the president faked a medical condition to get a draft deferment. Mr. Trump claimed his medical deferment was because of a bone spur, but when I asked for medical records, he gave me none and said there was no surgery, Cohen told members of the House Oversight Committee in February of 2019. The president received a total of 5 deferments from the draft, according to the New York Times. 4 came when he was a college student, and the 5th was granted in 1968 after he had received a diagnosis of bone spurs in his heels, which is a buildup of calcium. Trump, who of course has never served in a war, declared himself a war hero in August after ordering the bombings of Iran. The president's pat on the back came seconds after giving the same distinguished title to Israel's prime minister and internationally recognized war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. So Gavin is rightfully mocking Donald Trump, which I think that we all need to be doing more often. I hate this idea that somehow Republicans are the tough guys, that they're the macho men, that Donald Trump rules with an iron fist. Sure, this is a guy overseeing an authoritarian takeover of our government. But what he needs more than anything is for us to just cede it to him, to give up, to be like ABC, to be like Columbia, to be like any given law firm that bent the knee to Donald Trump because they didn't think they could beat him back. They certainly could. They still can. ABC did. They sided with us because we're a lot more powerful and we fucking boycotted the hell out of them. But this is what Democrats need to be doing right now, especially during the shutdown, as Gavin Newsom continued to talk about here before we get into how Trump had to admit defeat.
Some are going to experience 388% increase. 388% increase. That's what this whole government shutdown's about. To have the backs of tens of millions of Americans that are going to face unprecedented increase in their health care costs. We're living in a state with 6.4% uninsured. I want to contrast that, for example, in relationship to Prop 50. Greg Abbott, I believe the last time, you can quote me, but with an asterisk, the last time I checked, their uninsured rate was 16.7%. It's a taker state that takes more federal money and still provides less. 16.7% uninsured rate.
This is about healthcare. This is about Republicans wanting you to feel pain. That's what they want. There's a reason why the $6 billion fund that Congress appropriated, an emergency fund for SNAP benefits, isn't being tapped into. Why the Department of Agriculture is telling states and municipalities that they cannot distribute those funds. Why is it? Why is it? It's because, of course, they want you to feel pain. They want people to die. They're using this as a political tool. Starving people. They want them to think that the government is broken and it can't help you and I. That's the entire purpose of the government. It is not for corporate subsidies, which I've heard this fucking disgusting, and we're going to get into Newsom, I promise. But people saying, oh, I don't want people on SNAP to be able to buy Oreos and soda. I don't give a fuck what they buy. I want starving people fed. I want people fed in America. And if they want some Oreos, go for it. Great. I'm not going to feed you fucking steamed chicken and rice because like, oh, I'm mad at my tax dollars. It's $6 a year. I want people fed. Jesus. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. And it's the argument we have to continue to make, and the argument that we're winning on, which is why Donald Trump had to go rig the maps and why he tried to stop Gavin Newsom from responding in California, but that's not going too well. And now the Republicans and Trump are admitting defeat. California Republicans retreat as anti-Prop 50 campaign collapses. Opponents of the Democratic gerrymander started casting blame for defeat at the ballot. Republicans appear to have all but abandoned their efforts to defeat a Democratic gerrymander of California's House District 1 week before it goes before voters. As Democrats pummel the state with Yes on 50 advertising, the Republican side of the battle has gone quiet. Major GOP donors and party leaders have effectively vanished from the front lines. The biggest funder of the campaign to defeat Prop 50, Charles Munger Jr., has not contributed any significant cash to the cause in weeks, and his Protect Voters First committee cut its weekly spending from more than $4 million to less than $300. The other opposition committee, Stop Sacramento's Power Grab, spent $155,000 on advertising last week compared to $3.8 million from Governor Gavin Newsom, who has now humiliated Donald Trump, so much so that he posted this video.
You can't even make this up. 1.2 million contributions. We've raised $38 million together. Enough. Thank you. I never thought I'd ever say that. We've raised enough money to win this campaign. Doesn't mean we've won the campaign. Quite the contrary. But we reached our goals. We reached our budget. And I just want to thank you for reaching in your pocket. I know what $5, $10 means. A lot of people, it means everything. And the fact that you stepped up from all 50 states to get us in this position to win the campaign is extraordinary. So please don't send any more money to the Yes on 50 campaign. But don't think for a second we can run the 90-yard dash. This election is not over, so let's do everything in our power to focus on getting out the vote. But you stepped up and you stepped in. Mad respect to all of you. Thank you.
Not only did Gavin Newsom beat Donald Trump, he mollywopped him and then he mocked him. It was so successful. The almost $40 million raised by Gavin Newsom, by Democrats across the country who see this as the central fight against the Trump administration, that Gavin is now saying, we don't need any more donations. We're going to win this thing. They've effectively given up. That's how powerful we were. And I know that gerrymanders continue to move forward in Texas, obviously, in Indiana, in North Carolina. We could potentially see them expand in southern states. It is all very scary. But at the same time, we are seeing more movement from Illinois. J.B. Pritzker, even if it's one seat, you need to make it happen. Wes Moore, the same. Even if it's one seat, you need to make it happen. But there's another state that people haven't been talking about enough, if you need a little hope, which is Virginia. And the reason people haven't been talking about it is because Abigail Spanberger, who is currently running for governor of that state, is running for governor of the state. She's not running for, I'm going to redistrict and fight Donald Trump. Right? She is making the case, which I think that she should, considering she's going to win considerably, about how she's going to govern. Of course, a part of that will be what the state delegation has already done, which is move forward with a plan to redraw maps, because they need to do that before she is sworn in as governor. But that's going to happen in Virginia. So the fight continues across the country, and Trump continues to lose the fight. He looks weak. He looks ineffective. But Democrats, get in line on this. There are some in Illinois who have said that they don't want this redistricting because it might take power away from their seats. It might weaken their Democratic stronghold district. Stop it. I don't care. Nothing is more important than fighting Donald Trump right now. Nothing is more important than fighting this authoritarian regime. I don't care if it doesn't look good. Oh, we don't want to gerrymander. It's not gerrymandering. It's responding to Donald Trump, who is the most criminal and corrupt president in history. So fucking hit back, please. Like, seriously, it is absurd what happens every day that we barely notice that Trump is doing to exploit and break our government. And we saw James Comer asked about one of those ways that Donald Trump is breaking our government, his crypto scams, and his response was as weak as it's about you'd expect.
But I want to ask you one more thing before you go, as long as I have you, because you're chairman of the Oversight Committee.
Right.
There's a Reuters report today on the Trump family's crypto ventures. Based on the family's own financial disclosures, Reuters found the Trump organization's income from the first half of this year shot from $51 million to $864 million. About $800 million of that is from crypto. And the story details how most of the buyers are foreign investors and how all this money is going to belong to Trump when he leaves office. Is this something that you're going to look into at all?
Well, it's something that we are, like you, reading about this. We're trying to digest it. The difference between the way the Trump family is operating and the Biden family is they're admitting they're doing this.
So the Trump family has made $800 million from these crypto ventures, and then the number is more than that. This is liquid, right? This is just cash coming in, because it's way more than that. Jessica Tarloff talked about a couple of months ago how about half of Donald Trump's net worth he has made in crypto, in these little shit coins, in these scams that you have just the worst of the worst people flooding the zone, giving them money off of fees, artificially inflating the coin. There is a man who was the CEO of a crypto company called Binance, who is just one of the worst financial criminals out there, who directed millions of dollars to Donald Trump's crypto coins, who Donald Trump then pardoned. So let's get that straight. This is some of the most blatant corruption we have ever seen. And every single Democrat needs to be talking about it. It is horrifying that people are going to be starving and seeing their health care premiums double and triple while Donald Trump is getting shit rich off of shit coins. Crypto is fake. It is nothing. It is bad for the environment. It is environmental terrorism. And so it is no wonder that Donald Trump, the man who loves to exploit like no other, has found himself drawn to cryptocurrencies. And so I think it is important right now that we take up the mantle against this, that we call it out, that we fight back, that we expose the corruption that is happening in plain sight, while Donald Trump is telling you and your family to starve. As your prices explode, as you are unable to afford rent, Donald Trump is getting rich off of the very industry, crypto, buying up our government, by the way, in many instances, that is contributing to your skyrocketing electrical costs. Your energy costs are going up because of crypto. Well, Donald Trump makes money. I think we should talk about that. We're going to, on this show, if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting. Don't let them silence you. Until next time, I'll see you soon.